This bill proceeds swiftly through the House and we'll continue to support it. Kia ora.
The Honourable Tauhenare.
Mr. Speaker, this settlement bill before us, I think it was the most interesting bill that the Māori Affairs Select Committee have had before them. No one actually came to the hearings that was against the settlement bill, save for one little piece of land over the shore in Naranek. And this created such a furore that I would have thought that it was the conscription bill, conscripting young men to go off to war at the age of 18.
What colour were the nets?
Sorry?
What colour were the nets?
Oh, look, I wouldn't put a colour on anything. I think putting people in boxes and giving them colours is a bad thing.
Right. Tell Hector a bit about Christchurch.
But, Mr. Speaker, as our committee normally does, we like to go out into the public and hear these submissions on the territory of those people that are settling with the Crown. And so we went to, I colloquially call Boot Hill. I'm from Auckland. I've lived in Auckland all my life. And we got a wonderful welcome. Otara, O-Town, Mr. 247 actually. And we got a wonderful welcome from the home folk. It did get out of hand a wee bit, and I take responsibility for that as chairperson. Unfortunately, there was an issue about somebody being asked to leave because somebody didn't agree with somebody else. But what amazed me about the little part of the bill that these people had all come to talk about was the fact that these Maoris may be able to, or may in future, purchase a piece of land. They weren't given it. It wasn't a gift. The settlement doesn't gift this little block of land to the claimants. It says in the bill that they have the right to purchase this piece of land. And lo and behold, you would have thought that the whole of Devonport had been given back to Ngati Whatua. And I make light of it and I make fun of it because that's exactly what I think the seriousness we should put on it. I know that there are people over the shore that think that doing away with that block of land for either commercial purposes or whatever purposes is a bad thing. And I hear what they say. But I wish people would put it into context. Here is a people that only 60 odd years ago, the government came in, burned their places down, bulldozed these people off their land. And this was in the heart of Auckland. You see this sort of thing happening overseas. You see this thing happening on the documentaries on Māori TV because that's the only television station that shows good documentaries anymore. You see this sort of thing happening elsewhere. But 60 years ago, these people were forcibly removed from their own territory, from their own land, from their own houses. If ever there was a bill that I support 1,000%, it's this one. It's this one, Mr. Speaker. And so my message to the people over in Naranek, funny name actually, Naranek. My message to those people is this, is that get in behind the settlement for the whole of Auckland, for the whole of the country. Maggie Barry. She said some wonderful things. She said some wonderful things about it. She's a very fine member of Parliament, and she will hold that seat for quite some time. Mr. Speaker, there is one historical thing that I want to say about Narrowneck. Back in the First World War, when there was conscription and members of Tainui were conscripted to go off to war, to the First World War, those that said no were taken and incarcerated in over in Narrowneck. And they were incarcerated not because they didn't want to go and fight for their country, but because that there had been no settlement between the Crown and Tainui. And so it has a particular significance, not only to Ngati Whatua, but to the people of Tainui, and Tainui and Ngati Whatua having a particular connection. Mr. Speaker, I look forward to the committee stages. I look forward to the third reading, where I will certainly expand on my thoughts about the good folk of Devonport, the good folk of Narrowneck, and the good folk of Ngati Whatua.
Brendan Horan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise on behalf of New Zealand First